It helps now and then to step back and take a long view. So begins the selection from Oscar Romero that's printed in your order of worship, and I hope you all will be able to read all that. It helps now and then to step back and take a long view. It's an appropriate time to step back and take a long view at our partnership with La Iglesia del Camino in Cuba-Haiti, Cuba. 10 years ago this December, I experienced Cuba for the first time as a member of a team from First Baptist Greenville. Our mission was to go and explore what our church could do to strengthen an already existing partnership with the Fraternity of Baptists of Cuba. The team's unanimous decision was that we needed a church to partner with. 2 years later, 3 of us found ourselves in Cuba-Haiti at La Iglesia del Camino, exploring together with them what a partnership might look like. Since then, several teams have traveled to Cuba to spend time with our brothers and sisters there, including 2 this year, one in April and one in May. Their pastors, Javier and Santiago, have come to Greenville to spend time with us here. Many of us have participated firsthand in our partnership, either there in Cuba or here in Greenville. But for most of us, it's been here in Greenville. So those who have been to Cuba have the responsibility of being the eyes and ears of our home congregation. We bring back descriptions of the details of our friends' lives and an appreciation of their Christian community and the way our Cuban friends and sisters live out their faith. Just as important, we provide our Cuban partners with a lens through which they can see and hear our community and experience the way we live out our faith. A vital part of mission is seeing through others' eyes. What the people of the Church of the Road have taught me is the importance of seeing their reality through their eyes. I believe most people who have spent time with them in Cuba-Haiti would agree with me. After all, don't we all want to be seen? In return, our Cuban friends want to see us and our reality through our eyes, not through newspapers and magazines, not through television and movies. What if all you knew about parking garages in the United States came from TV shows and movies? Think about it. Pastor Javier admits that the first time he found himself in a parking garage in the United States, he was a little nervous. All he knew to expect in a parking garage was either an exchange of gunfire or a speeding car coming around the bend, perhaps headed straight toward him. Or at least he expected to get mugged. We need to know each other through the eyes of real people, from a real place and a real experience. People that are willing to share with each other who they truly are. When we can do that together, we have community. And this is what we are about. What do we see when we go to visit our brothers and sisters in Cuba? We see a tiny church in a small, poverty-ridden community. A tiny church that is making a huge difference in the lives it touches. It helps now and then to step back and take a long view. What have we seen? We've seen a project in its first stages. 5 patios transformed into beautiful, productive spaces. 5 families brought closer together. We see Candida, once living alone, depressed, and suicidal. She's reconnected with her family and community. Now she lives with her granddaughter and her great-grandson and works a huge garden that enables her to provide for herself and to share with others. It's a showcase of the project. We see Servilio and Maritza, who have roasted a pig and fried bananas for us on their farm. Servilio and Maritza, who, through the project, learned that it is not only okay, but it's good for the woman to work in the garden and for the man to help with the housework. Together, they have learned to be equals in their marriage and leaders in the project. We see Lazaro, a coordinator in the project, who helps himself and others by selling produce from the patios. On his journey, he's also learned to be a devoted husband and an involved father to his son. We see a project that has grown from 5 families in the vicinity of Cuba-Haiti to over 90 families living from one end of Cuba to the other, all from the seeds that a tiny church in Cuba-Haiti planted just a few years ago. A congregation anxious to partner with us, to let us help them give new life to their community, and with a longing to give back to us in return. We can see these things here in our own community, but often we don't. Sometimes it takes a different perspective for us to see it. We need to experience something different and uncomfortable. We need to see how God is working in other places. Then we can have a new way of looking at the world, and our own world looks different too. We come home with a new perspective on how God is working in our own world and how we can let God use us for good in our community, whether it be in a neighborhood partnership or teaching Sunday school, nurturing relationships within the church, or reaching out to those beyond its doors. We come home with a new way of seeing our world and how we can influence this part of the world where God has placed us. This is what we are about.